Alright, today on Sporadic Fishing we're going to do a pick and cook. Cannon, Louisiana figs. So I know it's a fishing channel, but I ended up trading some fish to a friend of mine for some fresh figs. So Cannon, Louisiana figs. Here at LaHoste Farms in Braithwaite, Louisiana, 100% organically grown figs. All different varieties. So instead of a catch and cook today, this is going to be a pick and cook. Celeste. The trees are so beautiful. It's almost hard to see the fruit in here. That's you tiger, huh? Tiger. That's a pretty tree there.
Oh, it's fast growing too.
That's a pretty tree. Beautiful figs.
You notice the leaves on it? Humongous.
Yep. Look how beautiful this variety is. Right there. When they ripen, that's going to be nice. 100% certified organic figs. Alright, to can whole Louisiana figs, the ingredients we're going to need are going to be figs. I have two varieties, Celeste and LSU Tiger. So we need figs, lemons, sugar, and you're going to need sterilized mason jars. Okay, we're going to be canning these figs whole, so what I like to do is I like to go through them and snip the stems off. And while I'm doing this, I can look for any rotten or bruised ones or ones that aren't quite right. And the reason why I like to snip the stem off is to be able to fit more in the jar. These are grown at an organic farm, no pesticides or herbicides or anything used, so I really just need to rinse them just to go through to make sure there's no dirt, dust, or anything on them. Beautiful, beautiful figs. So this recipe is an equal weight sugar and equal weight figs, so I'm probably going to do 10 pounds. We'll see once we get through all these Celeste, get them clean, and see what we got. So I'm canning two different varieties of figs today. Over here on the left we have the Celeste, which is a real common fig in southeast Louisiana, and on the right we have the LSU Tiger, which is a lot bigger, a lot juicier. So we're doing whole figs canned in an old-fashioned style recipe. Okay, so the recipe we're going to use today calls for equal weights of figs and sugar. So we got 10 pounds of Celeste and 10 pounds of LSU Tiger and 20 pounds of sugar. So all you do is you put all your figs in a pot. So try not to bust them up too bad. So you have equal weight figs and equal weights of sugar, and you want them to simmer down. So what I'll do is I'll start off with 1 cup of water. And this is just basically to get the liquid started. And the whole 10 pounds of sugar. So these are organic figs, but this amount of sugar kind of doesn't necessarily make this a super healthy recipe. So 10 pounds of figs, 10 pounds of sugar, 1 cup of water, and we'll put it on low to get it started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start our batch of Celeste figs. So we'll do the same thing. We can put 1 cup of water in the pot, and that's just to get them to start to cook down. 10 pounds of figs, hard to handle, and the same thing, 10 pounds of sugar. And like I said earlier, the water is just to get them to start to simmer. You want to start off extremely low. You don't want to scorch the bottom of the pot. Super critical to stay extremely low so you don't scorch the bottom. And you don't want to try to stir in there either, or you'll bust up the figs. We're trying to can them whole. So patience is the key at first. I also added 1 more cup of water to each. So 2 cups of water, 10 pounds of figs, 10 pounds of sugar. This is 1 hour at the stove's lowest temperature setting. You can see the liquid starting to melt out of the figs. At this point I can start slowly increasing the temperature and bring them to a simmer. Okay, as you can see, slowly been increasing the temperature, and I'm to the point now where I can actually get in here and move the figs around a little bit. Still not to a simmer yet, but we'll be there shortly. Once I get it to a simmer, I'll let it go for an hour and then cool it, and then shut it off and let them cool down. See them starting to cook. So here we are, a nice simmer. LSU Tigers are taking a little longer. So as you can see, the Celeste figs have been simmering for an hour. They've turned a nice dark, opaque fig color, and a lot of them have collapsed. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the heat off, and then we're going to add lemon slices. So I've prepared 4 lemons, sliced and seeded, and I'll put the slices in now. As it cools, these will all candy into the recipe. I used 4 lemons for 10 pounds of sugar. I like to have 1 slice of lemon in every jar. So we'll see how it works out. We'll let these cool for 4 hours. The figs will plump back up and the lemon will candy. Alright, our LSU figs are done now. We'll do the same thing we did with the Celeste. We'll turn the heat off. And I'm going to drop in 4 lemons that are sliced and seeded for 10 pounds of figs. And you can see how they've cooked down. Nice dark opaque fig color, just like the Celeste. Put our lemons in, let them candy inside of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these off the stove, off the heat, and let them set for 4 hours, and the figs will plump back up. So you can see these have been cooling for 15 minutes and they're already starting to look real pretty. Alright, it's been 4 hours of cooling. As you can see, the figs have plumped back up. Looking real good, both of them, the Celeste and the bigger ones. So since the figs are floating now, you can turn the heat a lot higher to bring them back to a simmer, and you can get them to a canning temperature a lot quicker than the initial cooking. Alright, we brought our Celeste figs back up to canning temp. As you can see, it's just a little light boil. So this is all the heat we need to get them in the jars and seal them. By the time I get those canned, these will be up to temp. Alright, our figs are up to temp, our jars are sterilized. We got some seals and some hot water. You don't want to put them in boiling water, just hot water. And that makes the sealing surface pliable for canning. Like I said, I like to get a lemon slice in every jar. So I'll hit my first two ladles with a lemon slice in it. Put a towel right on the edge of the stove because this is a drippy, messy operation. I'll top a little bit of juice off, get them within about a 1/4 inch of the top. Take a paper towel and wipe the edge, make sure nothing will obstruct the seal. go ahead and put my lids and rings on. Now this is extremely hot liquid, so you can't hold the edge of the jar by hand. And you don't have to crank them down, just a light twist is all it takes. We're just getting that rubber to conform to the top of the jar. And then we'll just repeat this a couple hundred times. Well, we did it before with the Celeste and the LSU fig, and we'll do an after. So you can see cannon, the fig's almost candied. And boy, you can see that LSU fig is juicy. Alright, still canning. Slice of lemon with the first ladle in every jar. I am crazy about that lemon. It almost cooks down to like a marmalade in there. And it gives the figs a fantastic flavor. Here's some big figs. Same process over and over. Just want to be real clean and real thorough. Use new seals every time. So here's the finished product, 26 pints worth of figs. I ended up getting 13 pints worth out of the Celeste and 13 pints worth out of the LSU figs. So these figs are fantastic like this. They'll last 1 to 2 years or probably longer, although they never last that long with us. Eat them right out the jar cold. I love it on top of ice cream. So that's how to can Louisiana figs in an old style. And I can't thank my good buddy Lester LaHaas enough from LaHaas Farms in Braithwaite, Louisiana.